This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Like I said, my name is Mahamba Martin Mwakilasa, the General Secretary of TELTA, at the headquarters here in Dar es Salaam. Today we're going to have two presenters, one from Arusha and another one from Mwanza. So the presenters that we have here, when I mention your name, please switch on your video, wave, then I'll give you a minute, 5 seconds to say hi to the audience. So the first presenter we have is Sebastian Mahamba Sebastian Yonde. He's a public secondary school teacher with over 12 years of teaching experience. He serves in the board of African Elder as a professional development coordinator. Mahamba has a master's degree of arts in linguistics from Saudi. He's also a Fulbright alumni in 2019. Currently, Mahamba is a certified conversion integrity facilitator from Life University. Please, Mahamba, can you switch on your video and wave to the audience? That's Mr. Sebastian Mahamba. You will introduce yourself more when your time comes for your presentation. Okay. The second presenter we have is Madam Augustina Mtui. Is an English language teacher at Kikwe Secondary School in Meru District, Arusha. She's also a CBET certified trainer. She's currently the Secretary General of TELTA Arusha chapter. Augustina envisions seeing girl child grasp have value and economic responsibilities for a better future while working with WEGs. As a result, the ability to incorporate other members of the society in decision making. Madam Mtui, please, can you switch on your video? Okay, that being done, now I'd like to welcome our first presenter, Mr. Sebastian Mahamba. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, moderator Martin Mwakilasa, and everybody who are joining here in this live webinar. So, as I was mentioned, my name is Mahamba Sebastian. I'm going to take it away on this presentation. So let me just share the screen right here. If you can see my screen, please just, okay.
Yes, your screen is on, Mr. Mahamba, you can proceed.
All right, so in today's webinar, I'm going just to talk about the topic, which is classroom culture. But I just chose this topic because of, you know, the transformation that we have been having at the moment with technology, transformation on competence base. Now, as a teacher, I know we are doing a lot of things in a classroom situation. We have planning, we have checking for understanding, which we call it evaluation. We have methodologies and a lot of games or techniques that we employ in the classroom. So the other things that I want to bring to you today is classroom culture, and I just said it from global perspective or globally informed into locally rooted. So we want to think from a global perspective into local perspective. Well, as we are checking in, I know, so before we go to the actual classroom as a teacher, we normally need to have the check-in. And I've been having a lot of check-in practice on my own. So one of it is just when the students come in my classroom, the check-in or just creating a space, good space for them is allowing them just probably to shake hands. Some of them just want to show love. Some of them want to hug. So all that, we do it in our local context that I alluded a little bit earlier on. So now let's think about this nightmare. And you see now it's a kind of chaotic class. As you see the photo here, the teacher is really screaming, and the student, they look like disturbing, and you see a lot of nightmare that has been going on. So I want you to go with this question. Have you had any of these situation in a couple of months ago? So if you had one of this kind, whether in a month or in a week, please just put it on the chat quickly. Just write on the chat, and Martin maybe will try to help me as we are going through this kind of question. And again, I'm also urging for those people who are just put your phone or your devices muted. So just put it on the chat like quickly, like if you have had one of these situations, like having nightmare when students are making a lot of noises and you get troubled and you're triggered headache, just write on chat as quick as possible. You have just a minute to do that. And Martin, you can just read it whether now or even later on. So as we are just reading a lot of chats, maybe we have had one of the like responses and kind of we call it teachers' responses on this kind of situation. So one of the teachers said, and I'm going to read, regarding this efficiency of the use of time in classroom. So he said, my students take too much time getting ready to start the class, or sometimes to transition from one activity to the other. So it's really getting a little bit time for them. Transition from one class, from one activity to the other. So it's a little bit hard. The other teacher also said, some of my students are not 100% focused on the activity we are not doing, but are distracted or talking about other issues. So now the other teacher also said, to get the attention of all the students quickly, I have to shout. The objective of this study. So we expect at the end of this session, you'll be able to explain what is classroom culture and its importance, describe the 4 classroom management styles and identify yours. Then we're gonna discover the dimensions that are involved in creating a classroom culture. And lastly, we'll learn how to carry out strategies related with building character and the trust in students. All right, so partly when I want to cement here on the classroom culture, what does classroom culture mean and why is it important? This is a question I need actually to reflect, and you cannot answer, because when we talk about classroom culture, most of people quickly send their perspective and thought about classroom management. And some of you think of good behavior, or student being silent, and having those what we call rules and consequences. So we kind of think of those things when we talk of classroom culture. Which I said is one of the additional skills among the 4 skills that we have. Most of the writers and researchers say that we have the other one, which is called classroom culture. So, well, actually, in a classroom culture, we mean creating an environment that favors learners in 3 important ways. So one of the important things that we need to look at is when we deal with classroom culture in a classroom situation, we normally maximize learning time. So the teacher, you can maximize your time because your students are in a situation that are really smooth. They can interact and they also learn like a friendly way in a classroom situation. And again, when we deal with classroom culture, we normally, among students themselves, how they can speak, the language they choose, the way you communicate to them, and so on and so forth. And the other thing that we also need to look at when we look at classroom culture is promoting behavior student behavior that is conducive to learning. So these are the major things that a teacher within his or her own classroom situation may look at or are important for them to learn. I'll just give you a small quotation here, which is from James Comer. He says, with every interaction in a school, we are either building culture or destroying it at all. So as a teacher, you can either, kind of like build a classroom culture or destroy it at all. Because as I say, culture is a total ways of life. So in a classroom is everything that a teacher has or, teachers have within themselves. And within the culture itself, there's a small iceberg. On top of it, you can say maybe behaviors and maybe some attitudes. But when you dive deeper within the iceberg, in the ocean kind of, so you're gonna really see other things that the student might be coming from, maybe from some cultures from their home place, the community that's around them, maybe themselves when they interact. So there's a lot of things that are really interacts with culture. Now, based on the classroom culture, there's one thing that I just mentioned earlier, but it's mutually related to it, which is classroom management. Sorry, mute, please. Can you mute a little bit? Put him muted. All right. Okay. So we just looked on the culture and management, which is just in deeper within it with the management, and we saw behavior and all that. But I need just to look on the, we call it classroom management styles. And one of the styles that we need to look at are here. So here below, you can see in this vertical line, there's a low involvement and high involvement. Within high involvement, there's also low control and high control. So when you're in a classroom, sometimes you might have some sort of low involvement to your student, or high involvement, and also low control or high control. So these are, we call it, they are either vertical and horizontal lines that are embedded in your classroom as you are trying to deal with those management styles. And as we go on explaining, there's a four, we call it the matrices, some matrices or matrices that are embodied in these styles. Also, one of it, we call it, as a teacher, you can be an authoritarian. Here we mean you might be the boss in your classroom, very strict. Sometimes you direct, and or I want just because that, because I said so, and no one would try to intervene or you say them. And the other style that we use as we keep on looking on this management and the classroom situation is permissive. That means you are the boss, and you are the brother, you bring some sort of brother relationship, barred relationship. That means you're not clear when you want to teach, and sometimes it's difficult to say no with your student. And again, the other style, we call it indifferences or indifferent style. Here is when a teacher is very passive, you become too neglectful and sometimes uninterested. That means like laissez-faire kind of. And the other is authoritative. That means you are firm, but a little bit fair. Sometimes the teacher is very respectful and supportive. So we bring these styles, and I know there's a lot of styles, but these are the major styles that a teacher can use to bring some management within his or her own classroom situation. So I think we have our own styles, and we can think of the styles ourselves and how we use them. But I want to dive deeper to some of the strategies to create a strong classroom culture. So one of the strategy is, we call it, you need to build up a character and trust. So as a teacher, sometimes you need to bring to build. And that is in a dimension of involvement. When you involve your student, we are trusting them, and that is where we're building a positive character to them. Another thing is but we need to also to have some, they need to respond. Like if there's a question, student, maybe they should raise up their hand, they should sit down, or you should build some sort of or classroom routine that you think are positive for your student. The other thing is also one of strategies, planning rules and consequence. So we need to have like rules in a classroom. What is your rule and what the consequence, or what is the result? Like if a student asks a question, we need to clap, and that is the rule. And one of the consequences maybe is motivating a student maybe to do much more better. Another thing is using correction. So correction is a part of strategy that we need to build a strong classroom culture. Like when a student gets wrong or is writing and is getting wrong, you need to use a language that is really making him or motivating him to do much more better. Michael, I like how you were writing about this sentence, though you ended up writing a small, slightly grammar error. So that is the way we correct our students, in a language that is really motivating them to do better, rather than just say like, what have you written, with maybe shouting voices and all that. And the last one here on the strategy that I want to use is we need to also have the consequences or the results. What is the consequence of this thing? If you are, and that is on the dimension of involving and controlling. And with consequences, the result, like I said, a student write a good spelling and you corrected him. Now the consequences maybe they will try to improve in writing, maybe in the next subject or the next course or the next subtopic or whatever. The other thing that I want also to go and dive in right now is when we build up the classroom culture with those management styles, we have some sort of, we call it building character and trust in a part of learning basic, like for example, learning student basic names. That is the way you also build in character. You need to know their names rather than just mocking to them or joking their names. And also you need to learn their hobbies, like what is your hobby? What do you do at home? Do you go to swim? And those are a lot of things that will also embark on this building up the character and trust of the student. Again, we have also what we so-called recognizing student existence. We need to recognize them. Like I said, they are human beings, they need love, they need respect. We need to, warmth, that shows sort of compassion. They need sort of that. So when we do that, we know we have, so we call them the, we normally call them the inclusive learners. So we need also to recognize them and also be part of the classroom as you try to bring one common classroom or in a real context. Well, as we are just diving down deeper, we go to the, also we need to show some sort of deep empathy or empathizing. You need to feel in, like if a student does not do well, now you need to feel like you are within him and you are able to help him. That is another way also of supporting them or just building them in a character and trusting. And the last thing in this part of the character and trust building is begin with the most challenging issues to the ordinary one. So here, you need to look for the most challenging issues and you start solving them slowly from unknown to known, or from bottom up, or from down to the top. Well, the other thing that we are also trying to look on the positive, on framing, building character and trust is a positive framing. So the framing here is painting a good picture to your students by sitting to them, talking to them, showing those we call it social emotional learning or skills, so that you bring that atmosphere of where students are friendly. They can also, keep on interacting and becoming in one family. So as I'm also going down deeper is when we make correction, please, we should not, we need to allow anonymity. When we are making this correction to the student, allow anonymity. That means sometimes you don't need to mention the name of the student. Like you call him name by, like for example, Muita. Make sure you did not, you make sure you did what I said. So by mentioning, you are attacking a student, you are like you bring the whole class to focus on him because you just mentioned him or you called him. So we need to find a way that is more inclusive, that a student would not understand that you were trying to focus on Mwita, who was really talking. Well, also explain the reason behind what you asked. For example, you need to explain the reason why you asked that thing, or I asked that because I wanted to know 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So that is the other thing. Well, don't do like I said, because I said so, now you need to do what I say. So avoid, you know, becoming authoritative kind of. Rather, you need to make involvement. Please, as we are modeling these things, you need to use words treating students with respectful words like please, thanks, sorry, and so on and so forth. Those are the ways that are really encouraging them. You are bringing them in a good interactive situation, and you know, they are like families, you know, and they are human. So we need to also embrace the common humanity. Never lose temper, please. Never lose temper at all. Like, you know, you came home, you have a lot of problems, a burden on your shoulder, then you want to vomit out your student. Please don't do that. By yelling, wow, what did that? What have you done? Or making idle threats or talking bad behavior personally. When I'm just wrapping up, I came up with this quotation from John Maxwell, who said, students do not care how much you know until they know how much you care at all. So when you bring that, you know, good relationship with your students, you create that good culture to them by knowing their names, by helping them, elevating their ability to learn and whatsoever, then they will try to understand that you are really caring and you are the right teacher. Well, I'm wrapping up because we have been really going through transformation, as I said earlier on. We were in the world of technology. We were in the world of competence-based. We have been learning about how to plan a classroom. Now, as we are winding up this conversation in classroom culture, please, as a teacher, you need to have your kind of strategy. You need to have your own competence. You need to have your own kind of styles or any ways or creativity that you can make your classroom or your learners more engaged. And that is what we call the classroom culture as one of the 4 core skills that we can also keep on learning and elevate to the next classroom culture 2 and classroom culture 3, I think next time. So that marks the end of my presentation. And I think after the classroom culture now, we are going to invite the other presenter who is going to talk about using the music now. You have already created the classroom culture. Now you need to bring your music, engagement, and games and songs, and students will be learning through the games. At the end, I'm submitting back to you, Mr. Martin Wakilasa, for the next presenter. I'll be waiting for the questions later when we will be having time. Thank you. I submit.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mahamba. That was a great presentation, although we had the challenge of technology. Please bear with us. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question from what Mr. Mahamba has just presented, please, can you write your questions on the chat box? We have 3 minutes to do that. Please post your questions on the chat box. We are waiting 3 minutes.
Hey. Good, good. Very good, good.
Okay, I can see we have only people giving positive comments. Great presentations, Mr. Sebastian. Thanks for your great knowledge and sharing. I like your presentation, Mr. Dr. Mahamba, and so on. Thank you very much. Now, I can call upon Madam Augustina Mtui to start sharing the screen and start the next presentation. Thank you. Okay, since we do not have questions, Madam Mtui, as you are sharing your screen, Mr. Mahamba, you can still answer this one. Is classroom culture inclusive?
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for your time and patience. And since technology is what we have to be familiar with, thank you very much for your time. I am Madam Augustina Mtui from Arusha, and I would like to share with you something beautiful, as Mr. Mahamba has said, and let us learn in a very fun way. The title is using music in speaking classroom. Now we are going to see how we can integrate music in our classroom sessions. And to be specifically in our speaking classroom sessions, since we know that we English teachers always struggling to make those 4 skills working out, using using music is going to let this tricky task to be a little bit simple by making it tricky itself by using music. What do I mean here is that, for example, teaching speaking is quite a little bit difficult task to the learners of other languages. Now, since it is on that way, we are going to make different tricks to make it successful. And therefore, it's like when we are saying, when the music changes, you also change the way of dancing. Now, after changing the modality, and now here is the music to be specifically, I'm looking forward for all of us at the end to be able to grasp different concepts of music in the classroom, and also to use music in speaking classroom as a motivator and also a teaching strategy. Why do I say as a motivator? We're going to see it as we are keeping going. Now, so far, I would like you to write something in our chat box regarding the notion of music itself. And therefore, please participate on writing something in the box, in the inbox regarding the concept of music. And Mr. Martin, you can check your inbox if we have somebody write something about music. And as we proceed, from what you have written there, I hope you have written something nice. We may also say that music is a powerful tool to integrate while teaching speaking. And since it is a wonderful tool, it's also capture everything about culture, people, and the language itself. And now, since I'm expecting some comments in the chat box, let me ask if are you able to see my screen? Let me ask you, Mr. Martin, is my screen okay? Hello?
It's seen, madam.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Irene. Now let us proceed, and please read for me some chats in the inbox to see the notion of music. I understand that you are using this tool. So please share your ideas, how you use it in the chat box, please. And let's proceed by saying it can inspire interest in the subject matter when other methods have failed. That's why I've said at the beginning that when the music change, the dance itself also change. And therefore, for we English teachers, while we are struggling, teaching, speaking, facilitating the speaking skills, we may opt to use music as a tool to integrate in our teaching speaking sessions. Please read some chat so that you can see if the notion goes with us. We have like some 30 seconds to read what is the chat box regarding music. And as we proceed finding what is there in the chat box, I have a question here also from what you will be saying. After knowing the notion of music as a wonderful tool to capture everything, and specifically here is language, and as we have said that it inspires interest in the subject matter, I'm going to pose this question to all of us. Why music now? Why music? Capturing everything, inspire interest regarding your own notion. Why music? Why music in the classroom?
Okay, madam, we have
Yes.
in Turkey, Ruhazwe says
Yes.
music brings people closer.
Do you? Yes, please. The effect of
And Galax says music creates a joyful atmosphere.
yes.
I think those are the only comments that I have so far. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Matrin. We can also, from what they have said, it's really very true. All those things together with, students love it and they benefit from it intellectually and also emotionally. Thank you everyone for sharing why music in the classroom. And all those goes together with a great style to be used in our speaking sessions. I have this person here, Henry Longfellow, who said that music is the universal language of mankind. Now, please, if you don't mind, go to your chat box and tell me a little bit, what do you understand by music is the universal language of mankind? And we have like few seconds to say something. Please say something about it.
Naetwe Single says music makes the students to remember what they have learned easily.
Excellent. Thank you, Naitwe. Another one, if it's there, please.
Raphael says it entertains.
Yes, please.
Oh, our participants today, they are streaming is very slow. So you can continue. Those are the only answers that are there at the moment.
Thank you very much for participating and for writing something. It's really wonderful. And it is really positive since we have built the classroom culture and there we are participating. Thank you very much. We are also saying music is the universal language of mankind, since even if you're not familiar with that particular language, you can dance the music and understand and tell your friend that from this music, I think it means this way. That's why you can see other people are also dancing the bongo flavor or us dancing the other kind of music in other language, for example, English or French and whatsoever. So that's why we are saying music is the universal language of mankind. Anyone can use music to get to understand to a certain concept. Now we can, together with those comments in the chat, We can also say it creates positive atmosphere, like the chat box have said. It inspires students to release energy, and since the classroom is participatory, students together, girls and boys, are going to use a little bit of energy by giving one another new idea, challenging one another. To hook students when you click off in a consistent way, we are building the ability for them to use the language correctly. And now here, the using of language is through speaking. We know we have for skills, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Now, for any language, for you to be able to understand it, or for somebody to say, so and so is having an ability to speak a certain language is through communication. And that's what is speaking. And since it is easy to be hooked, it goes together with consistency. And while they are reading regularly, continuously, together with the positive feedback, it also brings funny to the learner, especially after mastering different words. And later on, we'll get those words to concepts. And also music enable a student or the one who uses music to master the pronunciation. While you are singing continuously, repeatedly, correctly, you master different kind of pronunciation regarding the words that you are using. Also build confidence among students, you know. Once they understand what they are presenting, especially when they prepare their own work and you guide them very well in a very positive way, it's built up the confidence among students that they know that I am the one who was responsible preparing this one, practicing this one, taking to action these kinds of words. And therefore, at the end of the day, when you tell your student to stand and present something, he or she is going to be very comfortable on what he is doing. Also, I have quick review, as the chat box has said, and a lot of funny things. Now, as we proceed, yes, please.
We have some more from the chat box that actually are supporting what you've just said.
Thank you very much.
Says music brings active participation and creates active minds. Terevel Aremu, the music in teaching encourages schools regular attendance, right? For sure, students will not run away from classes. And Evelyn Masawe says music soothes the soul. Then Irene says, Evelyn, keep your mind here. Don't move with the music. Thank you. Continue, madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for writing a very positive thing in our chat box. I really appreciate it. And now I have another task for just less than 1 minute. Please say something else in our chat box. What is your experience? Give us a certain experience. Have you ever tried to use music in your classroom to deliver any content? Please write something. Have you ever tried? I know you have been trying using different methods, and music is one of them. And therefore, please, again, write something. Say something about your experience. Have you ever tried to use music? And how? A little bit. Thank you.
Okay, please stream your answers to what she has just asked. What is your experience with the music? Or have you ever tried using music in your classrooms? Stream your answers in the chat box and then I'll read them out. You have a minute. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, less than 1 minute. Please write something there. Have you ever tried and how? Very short and brief. And we know that since practice makes perfect, this one is going to stick to all of us by sharing. And while we are waiting for that,
We already have answers, madam. They are coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Zaiduna Nikata says music make me got a lot of new vocabularies through listening. Catherine Ninjao says, yes, I try music when teaching different topics such as adjectives.
Thank you very much, Martin. And
Raphael, we still have answers. Raphael says, actually, when I use music, most learners are engaged in the lesson. Ntaki Ruhazwe says, my experience is that a related music brings brighter connection to the topic matter.
thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Martin. Yeah, thank you, Martin, for the those good comments. And now we are going to, that is what we are saying, how do you integrate music in your speaking classroom? Now I would like to share something which I've been doing in my class through music. And regarding what they have said, we can also say music as a motivator, and we have said it at the earlier. And now let us go direct to learning strategy. This is music as a motivator, as the others have been trying to assist one another in the chat box, that makes students happier, low stress, improving health, helping students sleep better, reducing depression. We know we have different students from different backgrounds. Sometimes they come in the classroom with a lot of things in their head, like the first presenter has said, and managed to let us in that modality. It reduces stress, and also music strengthens learning and memory. Now also, as you are using music here, now and there continuously, music increase verbal intelligence. You are speaking, you speak, you try here and there, and therefore it's increased verbal intelligence. Also, music raises IQ and academic performance. Now we're going to see this academic performance in a real notion. Now, let us go to the learning strategy and also emphasize on academic performance. We can use music to teach word class. We can use music to teach sentence structure. We can use music to teach grammar, influence, and public speaking. Now, today, let us concentrate on verbs, since we know that whatever we are speaking, we have to have verb within it. Now, let us see. How can you, how did I manage to teach verbs through music? The first thing I did, I considered the age of the learners and their level. After considering their level, also their cultural, the cultural backgrounds, and also the access. How can I get certain music to teach them? Now here I can say a little bit that the access can be anything. You can prepare the song, you can prepare the lyric, the melody, and whatsoever. And a very good thing, you can let the students themselves choose the melody, choose the tune to do their own thing. Now, after regarding the level of the learners, their age, cultural issues, and the access, we are going to steps. And here I have 5 steps, which I considered when I was teaching verbs in this particular class. The first thing I did is to let the students listen to that particular song. And I'll try later on, after finish all those stages, to see what they have done in this music, in this song, in this video, together with other things along the way. After letting the students listen to the song, which it has been prepared, you can prepare, for example. This is the one example. You can also ask a few questions through brainstorming way, and of which they're going to answer orally. Yes, you can post questions regarding what they have heard, And after that, the other step, you can focus on the verb that you need them to master. And after that, you're going to let them practice in a real sense. Here, they are going to choose their own modality of doing that particular song together with the verbs or the patterns that you want them to master. And please listen to this video and I'll say something about it. That was the last stage. Now let us take you back quickly to the stage of listening to this song. Possibly, some of you have not heard properly the words of the song. Now let me try it in a funny way. I'm not a very good singer, but I'm going to try it. I will start with the chorus and then I will sing the parts of the verb. They were saying together that, so you want to know about the nouns, so you want to know about the verbs, and you probably know there are several types of words. So if you want to learn and where to sit, now listen up and let's tell these parts of speech. I have tried to say it so that you can master the words. Now I'll go to the part of the verbs of which the girl students are singing, and it was like this. That's what we call the action word. Anything you can do, even abstract. Whenever you eat, drink, move, think, go, or stop. And even when you think, are, and then you go to the chorus. So you want to know about the nouns, want to know about the verbs, and probably know about several types of words. If you want to learn and start to teach, now listen up and let me tell you about the parts of speech. So those were the types, the words which the students were trying to give out. And that was the first stage. And the second stage which I used is to ask some few questions about what they've heard and focus on the particular verb tense they have heard, and also letting students listen to the song again, this time with lyrics. For example, the way I have done them. And these are the sum of that is the sum of the lyric about the verbs. So that we call the action verb. Anything you can do, even eat, subtract. Whenever you eat, drink, move, think, or stop. Even when you just say, that's a verb, you have got. Yeah, thank you very much. And the last portion of which the students did was to round things off with some creativity. So the melody you were hearing and whatsoever, that's what we call creativity. Thank you very much. And I will end up by saying, write another verse of lyric, maintain some modes and style as the origin. And have the learners play the music video for this song and write a diary entry for the character in the song. And thank you very much for listening.
Wow, madam, thank you. That was great. That was great. Let me hear if there's any comment from the audience, any compliments. Actually, I like music. I wanted to join the students in the rapping, So please, ladies and gentlemen, that was Madam Mtui. And you can see today's classes actually have been connected. We did the culture, so this is part of the learning culture that you bring it. Wow. Taki says, thanks, fantastic way of teaching. Madam Jao says, congratulations, Aunt J. Irene Magan post any questions on this one. Then Levi says, when should I use music? There's a question to you, madam. When should he use music?
Thank you very much. You can use music at the beginning of the lesson, in between the session, and at the end of the session. Since we have said it is going to stick in their mind, if you're going to do it through brainstorming activities at the beginning of the lesson, it's going to work. Even you are going to use it to present the subject, it's going to work. If you're going to use it at the end of the lesson to facilitate, to make other exercises, it's going to work. So you can use music anyhow you can plan it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mtui. Can see very positive comments here. Shani says, great presentation. Good in Kahaya also is commented here. Obviously says, great, Madam. Thank you for the wonderful session. Music indeed is a powerful tool. Raphael says, it's marvelous. Aida says, I like the song, please. Please, may know it's a title of further use. You want to know the title of further use? Kaya says, that is fabulous strategy. Oh, really? We have so many. Wow, fantastic. Actually, I was throwing hands up, following the beat. You know, travelers just like me, Armero. Aremu, sorry, not Armero, Aremu. I was throwing hands up, following the beat. Benjamin says, good methodology. Okay, in conclusion to what Madam has been talking about, or what she presented, I'd like to urge you guys, music can also be used. You can create a project for your students over a particular topic that you want them to go and make a research and make them create songs. Put your students in groups. If you're teaching, let's say Form 1's part of speech, give each team part of speech that you want them to go and do, and they make a song out of that, giving examples from this in their song. When they come to do the presentation, you will teach the part of speech one day, and everything will be funny. They will not forget it. I've used in music the other time. I really enjoy it, and I still remember those songs as if they were done yesterday. Thank you very much, Madam. That was a great presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mahamba. That was really great. That was very powerful. Although we had this challenge, but your presentation was great, and there was some punch in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see we have connected the two topics that we did today, classroom culture, and then we went to the culture itself. If there's any question or any comment, please don't hesitate to follow TELTA pages and post your questions. If you have anything to suggest, please feel free to join us. Madam Irene, over to you now. Thank you very much. Asante Nisan.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Mahamba and Augustina. Just want to tell people that we have our next webinar session on 13th of August. And I hope everyone will be here to cheer for our two presenters who will be presenting on that 13th of August, 2022. What are you saying, Martin? Makilasa?
Your broadband was down. We did not get what you said. You wanted to cheer for August what? I don't know.
We have our next presentation on August 13th, tarehe 13. So I hope everyone will be here cheering for the other two presenters who will be presenting on that date. And thank you guys for presenting today, despite all the odds, but we made it and the webinar was great. I enjoyed every session and every second of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Irene. Thank you,
And please
Mercy.
follow us
Thank
on
you, Sebastian.
Facebook, Twitter, and you'll find these recorded things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming, and I'll be answering those questions probably personally.
Thank
We can
you.
keep
Thank
sending.
you too.